Hello everyone, how are you all doing? In this session, we will explore Microsoft Foundry Portal. It was previously called as AI Studio, then it was called as AI Foundry Portal, etc. etc. You can go to this Microsoft Foundry portal by typing ai.azure.com. You can also go from within the portal.azure.com, which is Microsoft Azure portal. We had already set up a Microsoft Foundry portal resource, which is a prerequisite for this exploration. You can find that as part of this session, getting started with Azure AI portals and Microsoft Foundry, where I explained about these two portals, the Microsoft Azure portal, where you create Foundry resources, and the Foundry portal, where you actually work with those resources. We also created a Foundry resource. Here, if you come after logging into portal.azure.com, you can go to Microsoft Foundry. You can search or you can click on the icon in your dashboard if you have already gone there. And within Foundry, you can find Coding Arc AI Foundry resource, which we created as part of this session. We had also created a hub and hub project. So this one, the first one was created as part of that session. That session is available here as getting started with Azure AI hubs and hub projects. We also created an Azure OpenAI project and migrated it to Foundry resource. This is that resource, Codar OpenAI resource. For that, you can refer to the session getting started with Azure OpenAI and migrating to Foundry resource. If you have at least one resource here, you are good to experiment with our Microsoft Foundry portal. You can go to Coding Art AI Foundry resource and click on Go to Foundry portal. So it will take us to ai.azure.com, which is a Microsoft Foundry portal. And since we came from the resource, it will take us to the default project. Otherwise, you can select your desired project from this selection, or you can also directly type ai.azure.com and then select the project you want to work with. So if you come here, you can see CodeArc project default, which is our project. And by the way, before proceeding, if you are new to my sessions, I am Hartin Jacob Kanigatotu. You can read more about me from my LinkedIn profile or go to codingarchitect.ca/contact to get my LinkedIn profile URL or my current or latest contact number. This could change, the number could change, so you can come back here and then get the contact to contact me if needed. So coming back to our Foundry portal. So here we are in our Foundry portal, and this is the current experience. We also have a new Foundry experience. There is a banner also here. The new Microsoft Foundry experience, build and manage agents and workflows with access to a rich catalog of MCP server tools and enterprise knowledge sources. And in the current view, you have overview where we can see endpoints and keys, project details, and some other links. Then you have a model catalog where you can find all the models available. Initially, Azure started with close tie-up with OpenAI models, and hence we had the Azure OpenAI. But now, under Foundry, we have a lot of other models like DeepSeek, GPT, Cohere, Kimi, Cloud. So there are a lot of models. There are Microsoft models, Mistral is there, Grok is there. There are a lot of models. You can compare their parameters and then decide what is better. And if you go to some models like GPT-2 chat, you can use this model right away. And if you go to some models like GPT-5.2, you cannot use it right away. You have to first request for access. You also have playgrounds. So we have chat playground, we have video playground, images playground, audio playground, speech playground, language playground, translator playground, assistance playground. If you go to one of these playgrounds, there also first you have to do a deployment, because without models we cannot play around, right? So you have to deploy a model and then play around. So if you go to create a deployment, it will show you the available models like model router, GPT 5.2 chat, etc. And if you click on it, you can read about it and click on confirm to deploy. There are also others that are locked like the GPT 5.2, GPT 5.1, etc. You can see this lock icon, right? So you can go with a model that is already available, or you can request for access for a model for which you do not have access right now. And if I click on confirm, it will ask me to provide a name and deployment type. I can make some customizations if I want. And finally, I can click on create resource and deploy. The deployment might take some time, so I will pause the recording to save time and then continue once the deployment is done. The deployment is done. So here we can play around with this model. We can give a context here. You are an AI assistant that helps people find information, and then you can ask some questions here. We can also play around with parameters. In this case, max tokens. So we will play around in a different session. But here our primary goal is to explore this portal, right? And after playground, we have agents. So we can create an agent. For creating an agent also, first you have to deploy a model. So we can select a model that is available, and then we can create an agent. We have lot of sessions coming up for agentic AI, similar to how we had a generic AI session before Azure AI sessions. We will have a generic agentic AI session before we start experimenting with agents on Azure Cloud. We can cancel it for now. We have templates, so you can work from a template. So get started with AI chat, get started with AI agents, multi-agent workflow automation, multi-model content processing, generate documents from your data, improve client meetings with agents, modernize your code with agents, build your conversational agent, unlock insights from conversational data. There are a lot of templates and there are a lot of options here. You can open in GitHub if you want, and then you can explore them in detail. So I would suggest, if you have free time, do all of these things and get more familiar with the AI world. There are a lot of terms to learn, concepts to learn. It is not just like coming here and creating a resource, right? And during your free time, you can go to my AI blog, codingarchitect.ai/blogs, and then you can read them. And there are also step by step beginner's guide that you can choose. beginner's guide to Python fundamentals. So it's a hands-on one. Beginner's guide to AI and ML, step-by-step learning path. So there are many already available, and I am adding new. I am also refining some of these. So after templates, we have fine tuning here. What do you mean by fine tuning? I am assuming you know what is a model, right? Model is the brain. Somebody has already trained that model. So we have looked into all of these terms within our intro to AI session, which is available in our YouTube channel. Getting started with AI, a trained model. We are taking a trained model, and then we can customize it for our particular use case in two primary ways. One is called fine tuning. Fine tuning means we will be training it again with additional data to make it specific for our business use case. So if you come here and click on fine tune model, you can see okay GPT 4.1 mini. There are some models that allow you to fine tune. So basically, you take a base model and then fine tune. So we don't have any fine tune models yet. So you have to select one that is available here and then fine tune it, meaning train it again with additional data. However, as you can see here, compared to the model catalog, there are only a few here, right? What if we want to use a different model and customize it for our business needs? That is where RAG comes. So you can read about RAG by going to my blog itself if you are interested. Just search for RAG. It is retrieval augmented generation in AI. So you can read about RAG. So we will look into RAG and a lot of interesting topics when we discuss about generative AI and agentic AI. RAG means instead of changing the model, we will provide additional data to model. Hope you have heard about this term called prompt engineering. So when you go to ChatGPT or Gemini or some AI tool and ask something, whatever we ask is called as a prompt, right? And you can search for prompt engineering. So prompt engineering for beginners. You can read through it. We will have separate sessions on how to write better prompts and all. So a well-crafted prompt often includes instructions, context, input data, and all of those things, right? So what RAG does is, in case of RAG, we will provide additional data. So our business documents, maybe business documents from our company, we will put it in a different system. So it is a system that makes search easy. So whenever somebody asks something, before going to the model, we will go to that system and then we will get information relevant to our search from our company documents, and along with that additional context, we will ask the model. So model will have more context, more right information. So model doesn't have to hallucinate much. What is hallucination? Hallucination is a process where a model tells you things and you will feel like okay, model is telling with confidence, but it could be actually wrong. So it will reduce hallucination. So we'll see RAG and other things later. So you can read about RAG here. Coming back to fine tuning, and after fine tuning, we have content understanding. The Foundry experience for content understanding is being updated and will available soon. Until then, try the content understanding GA experience in content understanding studio. So for some activities, we have their own studios, but soon I believe everything will come under the Foundry umbrella. And you also have tracing, you have monitoring, You have evaluation, you have guardrails plus controls, you have risk plus alerts, you have governance, you have stored completions, you have bad jobs, and you can see my assets, data plus indexes, models plus endpoints, and click on more for additional options. So there are a lot of options here. You can even go to the management center. So there are a lot of things available here, and it could confuse people initially, but the more you work with these, you'll get familiar, and all your confusions will go away. So this is the existing portal. We will go through most of these options in detail, one at a time in future discussions. And if you see this new Foundry experience, you can click on enable, and then you can select a project. We will select our default project and click on let's go. Okay, this is a cleaner new Foundry experience. So if you are watching this video after some time, you may not see this button, and hopefully if Microsoft is not changing this again, you will be coming to this screen. Here you can see the new arrivals, you have the project endpoint, you have API key, you have project region for quick reference. You also have coding quick start. Python or some programming language is mandatory for working with AI. And when it comes to Microsoft Azure AI, especially with respect to exams, they usually give options for Python and C Sharp. C Sharp is their own language, right, from Microsoft. But we have decided to use Python because if you later want to go to another cloud provider or another AI provider, Python is one of the most commonly used language for AI and ML related work. It is also because of the availability of many libraries within Python to support these things. And you can click on start building. You can create an agent, you can design workflow, or you can even browse models. So we had seen models earlier in the older view, right? It was slightly different. So here also you can see them, you can sort them by featured or sort them by newest. You can also search them by recently updated. You can view leaderboard. You can compare models. You can do a lot of things here. So explore these things. You can filter the tools. You can check the solution templates. Get started with AI chat. So we saw all of these things in a different view earlier in the older experience, right? So here you can check and then do the needful. You can filter based on services, for example, Azure OpenAI. It is fun to experiment with AI, right? So the important thing to take from here is that irrespective of whether you are into the older experience or newer experience, ultimately you will get most of the things. But as long as you understand these concepts well, you will not find much trouble navigating these experiences, old or new. Or maybe when you watch this video, it could be a completely different experience, but still the concepts will remain the same. If you go to models, so if you come to these models and go to a model like GPT 5.2, which is not currently available for us, You can click on request access, and you can read all of these things. Please read all instructions carefully and complete the form as needed. Possible causes for a denied application, updates about your request, your first name, your last name. Please provide your Azure subscription ID, not your tenant ID. If you are not familiar with the subscription tenant and all, you can go to CloudRig's channel, and then you can go to the playlist and go to the Azure Cloud Fundamentals playlist. And your company email address, your company name. For what scenarios do you plan to use this model? Please enter the company street address. Please enter company city name, the zip code, company country name. Please confirm this application is for your own company and you are not applying on before behalf of your customer. And finally, the Azure OpenAI service is subject to the application applicable Azure legal terms, including relevant product terms, blah blah blah. You can read. I'm not going to read everything right now. Optional. We are always working on improving our offerings. Please take this quick survey and finally submit. And hopefully, they will come back with a positive result. As part of our learning journey, we will look into all of these things, irrespective of whether it is part of the AI 102 syllabus or not. If you come here, this is GPT 5.2 chat, right? And if you come to deployments, we can see the deployment that we did from the older experience. So, irrespective of what experience you use, older or newer, you can switch back to older if you want. Whatever deployments that you made, it will be anyway available, irrespective of whether you use the older experience or newer experience. And before we wind up, if you have any doubts, you can go to our Azure Cloud Facebook group, or if you are somebody who doesn't want to get distracted by Facebook's ads, distractions, and all other things, then we have Buddy Cult, Culture of Learning platform, where you have Facebook like posts, events, sessions, doubts clearing sessions, quizzes, chats, courses, and recordings, a lot of information. And we also have leaderboards based on points you earn by helping others and winning quizzes and doing other community tasks. Using those points, you can also get free renewals to the platform. Let us all learn and grow together and master cloud and AI together. So please consider subscribing to the Coding Architect AI channel, which is a very new channel that will be focusing only on AI related content, and also our current CloudRix channel, which has already lots of videos related to cloud. Bye bye for now, and see you all in next class.